suspect, you nut.
Oh. Well, I
Every
didn't
day
know that.
you reveal yourself to be more, to just be.
What?
How do you do, fellow kids? Maybe your nickname.
I'm not like that. You're like that.
Does that retort have any basis in
Yeah,
reality?
see, no.
Does that retort have any basis in reality? Any.
It
Out of
does.
zero.
You're the one that's all like, oh, you didn't know this song from 15 years ago? Well, that's crazy. You know, back in my day, we used to go, you know, backwards onto the
15
street.
years ago.
You know, it was uphill and it would be snowing.
15 years ago was
Yeah.
2005.
Okay.
So you don't remember
yeah.
any songs from 2005? And that makes me old? Or that makes me, how do you do, fellow kid? How? In what way? This makes no sense. It's making less sense the more you try to elaborate on it. Stop. You stop. I can't. Last week you were like, YTM and what is that? And I'm not even going to, no. 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 Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I said,
What?
that's exactly, I said, yeah, it's like a classic YTMND. YTM and what's that? What's the internet? I don't know. Fellow kids, can you tell me what the YTMNDs are?
That's and not anything like I said. That sounds like something
Welcome
you
to the
would
expert
say.
playlist, where we take old geezers
I'm like, what?
and we carry them through.
Like, old man
Right.
penguin.
Old Man Penguin is a persona that is not out of touch. He is annoyed with you whippersnappers, but he's not out of touch. Okay? I don't know who told you the Old Man Penguin persona was out of touch, but that's not the case, okay? Old Man Penguin just knows that back in his day, okay, when you leveled up your weapons, okay, in Destiny, they had nodes and specific perks that you could pick out. All y'all new kids with your pre-built guns and non-random rolls. You don't know. You don't know what it's like to know. You want to upgrade your Hawk Moon to have faster reload. Gonna have to spend 45 minutes on the moon picking up 16 helium filaments just to unlock one node. Back in my day, took a week to upgrade an exotic.
Yeah, well,
A week. A whole week.
Yeah. So, what are nodes?
Ah! My God. I'm not taking this. Nope. 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 Welcome one, welcome all. To How Do You Do, Fellow Kids? The stream. AKA the expert playlist. Tonight we find ourselves at the inaugural 2020 Guardian Games,
The
sponsored
Guardian
by
game.
Space Doritos.
Ag.
Shout outs to the Dorito Pope. We love you, Jeff. Keep fighting the good fight.
Any questions, dear?
Hey, those dues had to be paid.
Chick Hydrobot is a price that only he could pay and come out the other
Welcome
side
to the
unscathed.
Guardian Games. These games are Zavala's way of bringing us all together to celebrate.
Oh.
The future is
It had to be
uncertain.
done, dear.
I know the Almighty weighs heavily on our minds.
What?
But we must not forget to
We
live,
must not forget to live,
even when trouble
finds us.
Speak to
You know,
Zavala. He
I
can
gotta
help you
say, I'm
get
really
started.
liking this season of Destiny.
We
Enjoy
must
the
not.
games, my
We
friend.
started,
You
yeah, we
deserve
started
it.
on an apocalyptic threat, The Cabal are,
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
are driving a giant planet-busting. Basically, the Cabal are crashing their Death Star into the Earth. Okay. We went
Right.
from that to wrote anxiety about the darkness coming to crush us all. And they're closer than we ever thought. Adept as Destiny is at juggling multiple plot threads at once, so you have no idea which one to really invest yourself in at any given time. But I, for one, am
Mhm.
pleased that in the face of
Mhm.
apocalyptic death and destruction of all we know and love, that the powers that be decided that competition between the Guardian classes was
Was
just what we needed to
mhm.
engage
Lovely.
in upon the news that we are all going to die a fiery, almighty themed death. Um,
Mhm.
We have accomplished so much.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Never
I would do.
forget that. We have
If there was
fought the
if there was
Legion
a
before.
giant
We will do
planet-sized,
it again.
yeah,
thing headed towards us, um,
and I mean, given
why not have why not have a competition to determine which class is cooler?
yeah,
I mean, that makes
well,
sense.
I hope the Warlocks win because I'm not headbutting the Almighty.
Guardian,
I don't know who's. I don't know what the victor. I don't know what spoils the victor gets in this case, but uh, I don't know. Feel
hello,
kind of
Guardian.
ambivalent.
Oh, really?
Make good use of it.
A little bit.
Back to the front, Guardian.
Okay. What's making you feel ambivalent? Oh, the tower looks quite nice, though. My God, it's very
Very ornate.
colorful. Yeah.
I just told you everything that made me feel
Tell me,
what the fuck?
you don't fear Vanguard
You
operations?
want to repeat
Yeah.
myself?
You're right. You did. You did. No.
Filler.
I'm just gonna go talk to. I'm gonna go talk to the drifter. See what he has to say to those of my kind. My kind.
Don't
It's
waste it.
oddly subdued.
Hopefully, this is as sturdy as
I
you.
think it was. I think it was a lot. Yeah, I think it was a
Really?
lot more fun to go through as a Titan because Zavala is a Titan. Lord Shax is a Titan. They both have very funny. They both have very funny things to say to Titans in particular that they don't say to the other races. So it was kind of
Okay.
fun just doing it on that level. It was nice seeing what they say to all three classes. However, it's pretty nice. I will say though, it made me realize I'm kind of sad because while the Warlocks may have somebody that'll say something to them, and Titans have got a couple of Titans to commiserate with, Hunters have no Vanguard or anyone that's like, yeah, Hunters, yeah, like no, there's no Hunter Vanguard. So Hunters have no one to go to for some pep.
Nope.
That sucks.
That's
We
true.
have no leader,
let's
no
see.
leadership. Oh, let me go to the Colonel.
You can go to Amanda.
It's like, oh, thank you, Colonel.
Or
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was brilliant.
What's brilliant? Bokak? Bokak is
Yeah.
brilliant to you? Bokak?
Yes.
Why? Something tells me you don't have the answers, Sway. Something tells me you don't have the answers, Sway.
Well, let's see. Who's a hunter?
Sorry. It's hard for me to get that out of my system.
Yeah, they're. Are you all
I
set?
think so.
Are
I
you
think
good?
I'm good now.
Want to get an extra
Just-
in there?
I
No?
might later, but
Okay. I keep thinking of anybody who is a hunter. Like, If anything, we should have seen Shinro, whatever, the dude
Shiro 6?
that is Kate's friend. Yeah, Shiro 6. Where is he at? What's
I
he up
mean,
to?
last I checked, he was on Fellwinter's Peak.
Tell your friends about Eva.
Is he still over
I
there?
mean, somebody's got to keep watch there.
What's
Somebody's got to
good?
keep watch there. I mean, and Lord Saladin's here, so
But
that
there's
means that,
nobody
well, if
over
Lord
there.
Saladin's here, then
Yeah.
that means that either Shiro or Ephrodite are still, keeping watch over Fellwinter's Peak. I mean, they'd have to be there, right? I mean, where else? Where else would they be?
I don't know. I mean, but to your point, there are no hunters in any like leadership positions except for
Ain't no
Eris,
love in the house.
who
Wait, really? Eris?
who
Eris is.
Eris was supposed to be a hunter originally,
Eris is on
but she's not
the
really anymore.
moon.
She's made of cheese, but she's no longer a guardian. She does not have. She has
I mean, I
lost her
wasn't-
light, so she doesn't really
Wasn't going
count.
there, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, technically I guess she is made of, she's kind
Yeah.
of made of cheese, I guess. Yeah, I see what
Made
you
of
mean.
cheese.
See what you mean.
And then yeah, wow. So everyone else who's like, oh, how about well, okay. So anyone that might even remotely be, so Anna Bray is
But
a
she's
hunter,
not in the Vanguard.
but she's
No,
not in the
she's
Vanguard,
on
right?
Mars.
So she's like the closest we have to someone
Well,
of
I mean,
authority being
I
a
didn't say
hunter.
that there were no other hunters in the known universe. I said there's no Hunter Vanguard.
Yeah, that's true. There's no hunter Vanguard.
Like, yeah, Anna's on Mars and Shiro's
Officially.
on Fellwinter's Peak, and yes, technically Eris Morn is or was a hunter, but they're not here. Hunters ain't got no dad.
Yes, that is true. Hunters are, well, oh, why am I
I gotta
wearing this
go.
helmet?
I gotta go and talk to the. I gotta go and talk to the Drifter. Which I think,
Do
is
ya?
funny. It's, I can see the. It's almost like Bungie saying, "Please play Gambit." And I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
Plus-
I still don't understand why so many people hate, or just don't like Gambit. Or really, is it really underplayed that much?
Gambit.
I like Gambit. I had no idea.
I don't know. Gambit
the
is
reputation
fun.
was so
I like
cool.
Gambit. Well, I have heard. Oh, hello there.
Oh.
Okay, bye.
I said I was going to the Drifter.
I have heard.
I mean, you could come with me, but it's fine.
I
Go,
mean, I
go
was
rub
just
foreheads
there.
with Ikora. That makes you happy.
I just
How you living, brother?
you're a warlock, but headbutts and
Also, can I just say it's adorable that the
Anywho,
Drifter has a soft spot for Eva? Can I just say that's so wholesome. It makes me feel fuzzy. He's like,
very
I can't.
wholesome.
He's like, I can't
Yes.
resist her. He's like, I just can't say no to her. There's something about that Eva lady.
She's like everyone's aunt. Like she'll come by and she'll like get us baking cookies, and like
Hurry back.
and she'll like get us giving
You
each
ready to
other
bang
candy, and like she'll get us writing, like little all sorts of holiday stuff.
Derelict.
Sounds like you only like Eva for what she can give you. There's always that one cousin who's like,
No.
yep, I'm only here for the cookies.
I didn't say 'cause she gave me cookies. I said 'cause she'll get us baking cookies. Okay?
What's the difference?
Well, if I bake cookies, I give them to other people. That's what you do. You bake cookies and Ew.
He was there to remind us that we Guardians can do far more than BTFO each other out of existence.
Yes.
Let's see what we can do.
Alrighty,
Yes,
I'm about
indeed.
to deposit this metal in this giant crazy thing that this contraption that the Drifter made. Alright. Ooh, bad reputation.
Oh, this is fun.
So how about that crazy cynical article? Good lord. Are people really not enjoying this
Right?
so far? I did not see really any problem with it. At least at present. I mean, yes, bounties are what's up at the moment. But
Yeah.
I didn't
Well, that's-
really read
yeah.
that as a I mean, you know what I mean? Like I didn't. My initial reaction was not one of exasperation or fatigue.
Mhm.
I
Right.
don't know. Again, I'm almost convinced at this point that I have the ability to just Michael Scott my way through anything. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, no. Not very discontent, unfortunately.
I mean, I've so far this seems pretty straightforward.
I could get you another
Generate
Right.
laurels.
line.
And again, this plays into what I was saying to you earlier. Making bounties interesting in a way that engages you with the game's greater systems. These Guardian games bounties do just that.
Mhm.
Like there's like generate laurels
Yeah.
while see like for the alright, so for example, like for the Warlock, defeat targets with Daybreak at long range. As a Voidwalker, land final blows with Vortex grenades. Or as a Voidwalker using Attunement of Hunger, defeat enemies with Devour in streaks of 10 or more. And it's like, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. These all ask you to play the game with a certain class, a certain way, based around a certain ability.
Mhm.
That's exactly what I was saying would save, things like Warmind cells and Charged with Light, and had they integrated those into the bounties, people would have been more engaged with them because they're asking you to do something other than what you're used to already doing in the same way that you already do it.
Right. That is true. So, I mean, so far, I don't see what all the complaining's about. I have been reading that a lot of people are frustrated, like specifically on PC, people are frustrated about like cheating and
Trials is pretty much on its deathbed
yeah.
on PC due to the rampant cheating issues they have there. Like rampant cheating, like
Yeah.
brazen LOL. I'm shooting you through the wall, and I can do it because Bungie's not gonna do anything.
Wow.
I mean, look at how
Shooting you through the
Yeah.
wall. Damn.
yeah, people are getting shot through walls. Guns that have small magazines, like it's obscene. People are getting shot through all sorts of tomfoolery is
So-
happening in
Like something about people like using like scout, not scout rifles, but like sniper rifles, like pretty much full auto or something
Yeah.
like that. Wow. I mean, damn. That's not cool.
Yeah, like anything that you could imagine would negatively impact the game for people. People are just doing. But we can ruminate on this as we answer the. What would you like to do first? If you want to know what my trajectory was, you know me. You saw that thing. You saw that screenshot I sent you. I did that last night.
Mm-hmm.
That was last night. That's efficiency
good.
on fleek, is what it is.
Okay.
So I went into strikes.
So show me. Oh, strikes. Wait, that means let me grab some strike bounties.
So what I did was I went into strikes in order to do the gunsmith bounties, and at the same time while I'm doing the gunsmith bounties, you know, I was knocking out the Guardian games. I was knocking out the Guardian games bounties at the same time because if you look at your quest tab, did you pick up all of Eva's bounties along with all the medals? Okay, so the medals in particular ask you to play certain game modes in a certain way or to a certain degree. So let's see what the medals are today. Holy fuck. Wow. The medals today are completely different.
There's a bunch
the
of
medals today are based around Gambit and Forges. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that we both did Black Armory back when it first came out, because doing these Forge ones is going to be real
I
easy.
picked up all the Gambit ones because I didn't really understand the Forges ones.
Maybe we should get you to a point where you do, instead of ignoring
perhaps.
them.
Oh. Well, just for now.
Famous last words. Okay.
Oh my god. Did you talk to Banshee?
Yes, I did.
What he says is really funny.
Okay. Are you asking for permission to speak on the live stream?
No, I wanted to read it, and I wasn't sure if you'd already seen it. Maybe you had something.
Did the people at home see it?
What it says is, Banshee says, "Seen the trophy yet?" Banshee asks, "No!" Oh, I accidentally pressed the button and it went away. What are you laughing at? It's not funny.
God.
Need something new?
How do you do, fellow kids? How do these internets work?
Whatever.
As long as you like.
What? What are banshees? What's a banshee? That's some kind of animal in the tower? There's wild animals in the tower.
Eververse isn't just a
Well,
it's a family.
Banshee
Calm
was
your
being
calm
very
your nerves.
Banshee about it.
Calm your nerves.
Forever another tomorrow.
Fortunately for you, I'm not a crab.
Sure. Rhythmic physical expression.
You know, it's
win a fight.
it's often a
Feeling good is better than not.
it's often a balancing act. You know, I always enthusiastically want to show you stuff, but there's always a point where I'm like, hey, maybe you should you know, I gotta leave some surprises for you. So go on, go check your phone, crab ass.
You took screens?
No, I didn't. There you go. Have fun.
Okay, it says. Seen the trophy yet? And she asks as you approach his counter. Zavala asked me to make it for the games. He shrugs. I don't care who wins, but I like seeing the tower all dressed up and everyone talking about something other than Doomsday. It's nice, he nods. Anyway, happy, he pauses, clearly struggling to remember. Happy Revelry Party.
Indeed.
That was a very Banshee thing to say. I like it.
I think it's funny because, I mean, technically it is the time of the revelry, you know, last year, but of course, you know, he's Banshee, so happy revelry.
Right.
Like, is anybody gonna tell him? No, just let him.
No. Okay, thanks, Banshee.
Love it.
To a blade of the light.
You're welcome.
I will help you achieve this.
Thank you, love.
This is not Shax's crucible,
Well, hey, look.
my friend.
I always,
wolves are
you know
nowhere
me.
to be helped. Here you will
Gotta
fight
keep these
together,
moments for posterior.
or you will fail. We are pressed
For
from all
posterior?
sides.
Yeah, of course.
This is nothing new. Between Rasputin's guns and my training, you will become a beacon of light.
Okay.
Shine bright.
Between
Soon,
Rasputin's guns
darkness
and my
has
training,
no shadows
you will
left to
become
hide.
powerful in the light.
I love Saint 14's accent.
Saint 14
He has
is
the
the
best
best.
accent.
I would like to hear the
He
story.
does.
Come
He's amazing. Okay, I officially cannot hold any more bounties, so we gotta go do stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well then. I'm gonna.
So where should we go first?
Well,
You've done this. You have a bit of a head
fuck, No, I
start.
don't. The bounties. This is the first time I'm playing with my warlock in the games.
Oh, okay.
Awesome it is to have 3 characters. So, well, today it looks like Forges and Gambit are the flavor, so we should try and knock out what we've got tonight during some rousing
Some Gambit
games of
stuff?
Gambit. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I would love to get you further along on this
Yes.
black armory thing so you can start doing Forges, but you don't want to do it. And I have no idea how far along you are.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. Well, yeah, we can talk about this later. But let us try and do some
Yeah.
Gambit.
So definitely, let's see.
Gambit.
So yeah,
So Gambit Prime, right?
whichever Gambit you want to do, whichever one you think will, you know.
I like Gambit
So we've
Prime.
got Banshee bounties, auto rifles, sidearms, and swords. Auto rifles, sidearms, and swords are the flavor of today.
Auto rifles, sidearms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I don't have a secondary sidearm. Look at that.
You have
Leaf
primary
mat.
sidearm, secondary auto rifle.
I do.
That's one way to do it.
Yes, I do. That's another way
Alright,
to
so
do it.
that's on the weapon side. Now for the bounties, it looks like we've got Daybreak and 2 of them using Attunement of Hunger. I love the Attunement of Hunger. You know how I feel about the Attunement of Hunger, so. It's my favorite.
Indeed.
That's my default Warlock subclass. But it says you'll have to kill enemies with Devour. Or...
With Devour.
Mhm. Or I think with the Attunement of Chaos. Is it the Attunement of Chaos? No, actually. No, I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah. Attunement of Hunger, Daybreak, and Rabble. Oh, that's it. Either Daybreak or the Attunement of Hunger. So, yeah, defeat enemies with Devour in streaks of 10 or more. That's fun. So basically, you just have to act.
Yeah.
Why is that easy? So why is that easy?
Well, I can. Daybreak is just. Well, Daybreak is just you throwing swords at people.
From long range. No, it
Yes.
really means it. Yesterday, they were telling me to kill enemies with Sentinel Shield at long range, and they really meant it. Like, I had to be really far away before before it registered them as kills.
Wow.
Yeah, like, it was... Why is my controller vibrating like this?
I don't know.
You know, I think it's because this power cable has a short in it. Yeah, that's
Oh, I
precisely it.
see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I misplaced my oh no, I didn't. It's sitting right here. What the fuck? Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, so I'm sitting next to my computer. As you know, I can't realistically plug my I would love to plug the controller via USB, But as you know,
Mm-hmm.
the Xbox is across the room, so that's not too feasible. And then I can't plug it directly into the computer because if I connect the controller to the computer via USB, it becomes the PC controller. I can't win.
Okay.
Microsoft. This is not bad design. It's just slightly thoughtless. Like if the controller's already synced up to an Xbox, I don't think you should just automatically sync it up to a PC just because I plug it in via USB. I feel like priority should be on what it was before it was plugged in. Because then I just lose the controller. It's like, he's using it on the PC, guys. Look.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not. I just want to charge it. Oh, well, then why don't you plug it into the Xbox? Because it's across the room. Why is your Xbox across the room? Are you victim blaming? Microsoft, are you victim blaming? These are the conversations I have with my controller in my head. Don't.
Your controller is
It
victim
totally is.
blaming you.
It's like, well, then why don't you just move your
Cabal
controller
on the
to the...
field.
You know what? Don't make me use the Elite V1.
Dominus Gaul,
I'll put you back in your case.
Their hides would make great chaps.
Confirmed, the Drifter wants to wear a Cabal hide as his chaps.
Let's dance.
Okay, so. Which one are you knocking out first?
Hey, you're a dredging. Fight like one, brother.
Maybe auto rifles
Hostiles inbound
probably.
at the beach.
Well, no.
The easiest one.
The answer is that you should have all three of them equipped at the same time. And you should commit to
I mean,
all of
yeah,
them
of course,
until you
but-
get the bounties, and then use whatever the heck you want. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your Guardian Games bounties. Are you gonna go for the Daybreak one first, or the Attunement of Hunger one first? Which one are you more comfortable with?
Probably Attunement.
I love the
of Hunger.
Attunement of Hunger. You may end up liking the Attunement of Hunger after this. I mean, Devour is fantastic. Do you know how to... Are you familiar with using it at length?
Devour, isn't it, when you take your, let's see.
Hostiles at the
Oh,
beach.
well,
I mean, you could just say
Wait.
no.
Attunement of Hunger. No, I'm just trying to remember because I don't
You're like Joe
frequently use
Bidening.
it. I think it's when you melee somebody, you take some of their life and heal yourself with it.
Yes, that's half of it. Yes.
Yeah.
So, alright, so
Yeah.
Devour, as your melee ability is, yes, if you kill someone with your melee ability, it activates Devour. It consumes them, restores your health, and gives you a little bit of a buff to your reload and handling. So, you can activate Devour that way, as a final blow from your melee attack, or you can consume your grenade the same way you create Arc Souls with the Getaway Artist. You can consume your grenade to instantly activate Devour, which also, again, instantly will heal you and start the Devour effect. Now, every time you activate the Devour effect, it does that again. Meaning restoring your health, giving you the buff, everything. It does that every single time, dear. So, while Devour is active, a 10-second counter starts counting down. If you manage to kill another enemy while Devour is active, it resets the timer. So you can keep Devour going for a good while as you just continuously heal yourself with each new kill and each new... So, to that note, this Guardian Games bounty is telling you to chain Devour with up to 10 enemies. So that's what you would like. That's what you want to try to do. You want to try and activate Devour and then just 86 a bunch of asshats.
Your invaders
Nice.
died, but they scored a kill.
See, that's what I mean. Like,
That
that's what I
sounds
mean.
fun,
Like, it's a
actually.
bounty that's literally designed to kind of teach you how to use freaking Devour, or at least show you how cool it is when you get a good Devour chain going. Person that's stealing my kills, please. You're stealing my Devour chains. Stop it.
Hostiles at the trees.
Stealing your
Kind of
devour
is,
king.
yeah.
Your allies invading the other side.
Damn it. This bounty's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Love me the Attunement of Hunger. The only caveat is that, you know, your Nova Bomb in Attunement of Hunger does not home in on people and split into, you know, flaming death. The Nova Bomb on Attunement of Hunger, you have to aim it. And when it hits, it leaves a damage-dealing field in its wake.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's basically a DPS Nova Bomb. Really good on bosses, really good on Guardians. You want to trap in a hole. You know what's so funny? I was playing Destiny 1 yesterday as my Warlock. I totally forgot that in one of the subclasses, your Nova Bomb used to split into 3 Nova Bombs. I completely forgot about that. It was either one big-ass Nova Bomb, or you could throw a Nova Bomb that split into 3.
In Destiny 1?
You just hit the other
Yeah,
side
that's what your
of the
Nova
medium
Bomb did in
block.
Destiny
Yeah.
1. I completely forgot
Almost
about
ready.
that.
Grab your gun.
Yeah.
High value target is down and out. Bank and you'll summon a primeval. You want to win? That's how.
My feet is strong.
That should keep your enemy busy. Let's see more moats. Primeval's here. Kill
I was
it
about to
and
say,
win.
Drifter, you're a little bit behind. I think we're primevaling.
Yeah. It's primeval
I mean,
time.
considering what the other team looks like, I can you know, excuse his confusion. Do you
Yeah.
see the other?
Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah,
up
right?
there? Yeah.
Oh shit, they got me. You're wearing your Guardian Games bond, right?
Watch your back. Invader incoming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Haunted Forest before it. It's the only way you'll get to pick up your laurels and actually complete your. Oh shit. I don't really have a long-range weapon on me, I realize, because of my auto rifle sidearm combo. This guy's in the middle, though.
Yeah.
Invaders out. You'll get them next time.
Stay the course, though. It'll only let you pick up your. It'll only allow you to use your stuff that much more. Like if I'm like, ah, crap, I need a
Okay.
long-range weapon. It's like, but I can't. Well, then I guess I better finish this bounty then. That's the
Yeah.
ethos. You're gonna take out the primeval,
Yeah. There were a bunch of blockers there that I wanted to get rid of.
Alright, well.
Your lights
Oh,
supercharged.
crap.
Turn up the heat on that primeval. You're being
Shit.
invaded. Find them
Should have
before
thrown a
they
rift
find
down. I
you.
don't know why I didn't do that. Although I think I throw down empowering rifts when I have Attunement of Hunger, so that might not have helped anybody. Alright, I'll throw that down next time we have the primeval open. Shitload of blockers.
Invader down. Your allies a
Good
hero.
guy.
Yeah.
I'll go use my sword. I'll finish my story! Let's go. Devour with a sword out. Let's go. Listen to the woman, John. Let's devour everything. Give me them leg meats.
Invader inbound. Hunt. Your allies invading. You've weaponized your light. Cook that.
Cooking.
primeval. Drifters hungry.
Shit, that's a rocket. Get off my map.
Hey, you fight dirty. I like it.
Nice.
I don't know who he thought he was. His fool ass face. Oh my god, did that goblin really roll up and just shield the primeval? You fuck. He totally messed up
Yeah.
my devour chain. I was kind of proud of that. That invader became a part of my Devour chain. The envoys.
That's cool.
What?
Just all these blockers are just like, jeez.
I really like the Devil's Ruin.
Really? You decided you like it?
I've always liked it.
Your light readings off the charts.
Jesus
Tear
Lord.
the primeval to pieces.
Alright, empowering rift for y'all.
Mortals prime.
Jeez.
Go make a mess.
Oh, it's a healing. Is it a healing rift?
Oh, thank you. I've got the healing rift.
Watch
Yeah.
your back. Invader incoming.
No, another invader's out.
Invader down. Your allies a
Nice.
hero.
I try. I try, boo. Oops. How are our bounties looking?
Doing okay.
Don't sweat them too much. Just have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved this sidearm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Exclusively on my Warlock now, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just
Really?
kind of happened. Yeah, it
What,
just kind of happened that way.
Make
It
that
just
primeval
kind of
eat
happened
your
that way.
light. You've lost the lead.
You've lost
Burn
the
that
lead, really?
primeval down. Guardian down.
I don't know how that happened.
You're in the lead.
Yo, the Devil's Ruin is eating this thing apart. Holy shit.
Invader on the
Holy
field. Careful.
crap. Oh shit, where were you? Where'd you go, hon? Did you die?
Behind you. I was behind you. No, I was behind you.
Invader down. Your
But I'm
Invader's
oh,
down.
I was saying, did you die? Like we were all in the primeval spot attacking the primeval. Like what happened?
Oh. I was there.
Never mind. I can't do it.
Okay.
Never mind. It's like never mind.
Okay.
When I
What do you
died, you
mean?
were nowhere
Like,
near
what are you
any of
talking
us.
about?
Okay, when I died fighting the
Oh,
primeval,
when
you
you
were
died.
nowhere near the rest of the team. You were off floating in the distance. But
I was off killing the invader, and then I came back. That was like literally 30 seconds.
okay, I
Or
was just
less.
asking where you were, and you're like, I was right next to you, and I'm like, you weren't though, because you were killing the primeval. Stop, man. Chill.
Yeah.
Chill. Your neck. And chill, boot.
Invader
There will always be
incoming.
invaders.
All right. Supercharge your light and let that primeval have it.
See the invader? Oh, I see him.
Oh fuck! No, I
Get off my map!
Invader down. You can move.
didn't. Nice.
I'm just saying, like, what are you doing?
Oh, we can still get him. Oh fuck. Okay.
Oof.
All right. All right. All right.
That means we gotta get the envoys quick, because none of us are invading from what I can see. None of us
Yeah.
are invading.
No.
Shit. No.
Oh no, we're gonna lose.
Damn it.
Round's over. Your opponent took their primeval down.
We could have really had that. We really had a chance there. Oh, but you know, bounty-wise, that was quite productive. Let's see.
Yeah. I knocked out my sidearm one, so I'll put on the Borealis.
Oh, okay.
Borealis.
What?
Oh, I got one, two. What did I get? I got sidearm, solar, and field. Chicken wings.
Chicken wings?
Indeed.
I didn't see a chicken wings one.
You gotta get those.
Oh, does it take? Oh, it says the thing. Generate laurels by landing final blows with supers, grenades, and charge with melee abilities while wearing your Guardian Games
Land
class
final
item.
blows.
Okay, well I feel like I did that.
You did what?
It says land final blows with supers, grenades, and charged melee abilities while wearing your Guardian Games class
You
item.
did that over 100 times in
Looks
one
like I
match
made
of
no
Gambit?
Well, I did it at least a couple of times. Does it have to be in one instance of it?
No. You just have to. Well, just make sure. Just make sure it's you getting the final blows because you know how people like to steal kills. Just make sure it's you getting those final blows. That's all. 1.84. That's cute. That's my Crucible KD.
Well, excuse my cheeks.
Listen, in the grand scheme of things, that's kind of low. That's. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's right in between. It's not great.
It's not bad.
Like I feel like for clout purposes, it should be above 2. Like if I wanted to be recruited into like a team, they'd probably be looking for a 2 KDA or higher. But that's not bad. 1.8. Considering the amount of silliness I engage in. Like last night, well, like yesterday, Crucible was one of the medals for the Guardian games, and Team Scorched is part of the rotation right now. So, you know, no accounting for those instances where I've played Mayhem or Team Scorched where you're just dying like a crazy person. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. You front load the next topic. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
The hills are alive with the sound of mucus.
Mucus. Okay. Yep.
Corona on the field.
Ooh! Vex on the
Close enough. Close enough. Close enough.
Close, yes. Hello. So, I had to just now make some adjustments. I haven't been void for a while. I've been an Arc Warlock for so long. I had to switch out my exotics.
Oh, really?
You watch your background then.
Yeah, I'm using Nazarick Sin.
Huh. What is
Let's get
Nezarec
you on the
Sin?
ground.
That sounds interesting.
It's this.
This is where you prove you're a
Oh,
Gambit
wow.
veteran. Lock and
Yeah,
load,
you're
brother.
right.
Hostiles incoming.
For
At the
some
back.
reason, I was using... Wow. So for some reason, I was using... I still had my Crown of Tempest on, like a goof. So...
Yeah, and I still had my escape artist on.
Oh, well, that's just not cool. Well, you know what I've got on now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've got only the most logical of
What do you got
the
on
Claws of
now?
Ahamkara, boo.
Oh, the claw. Oh, that makes sense. I
You get
like
two-
it. I
Two
like the
melee
way you
charges,
think.
dear. 2 opportunities for Devour.
Oh, yes. Ah, yes.
Need just a bit of help over here. The Vex are vexing me.
Oh no. They're quite vexing.
The Vex are actually among the, I would say, the harder races to fight in Gambit. They just because of the way they stoke their numbers, it's just really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Hostiles inbound.
Interesting. I actually think that of the annoying enemies, I think the most annoying are the Cabal.
In Gambit, really? Surprising.
Yeah.
I think the Cabal are pretty easy
You're
by
losing
comparison.
motes. Ice the block.
Oh, that's annoying.
What's up?
Guardian down.
Crap.
Because Minotaurs, man.
Our bank is under attack.
Minotaurs, they teleport, they shoot fucking laser beams, they get in your face, they get out of your face, they get all over your face. It's just annoying. Fuck! It's annoying. You got the little annoying
eyes
ones
on
that
a
shoot you with their
high-value
eyeballs,
target.
little hydras,
Track
and
it
then
down.
fuck! Oh! There goes 14 motes because fuckheads.
Oh, crap.
Like at least Cabal are big and fat, and easy to shoot. They're spongy,
That's true, they are spongy.
but not irritating.
There's a lot of blockers.
Man, tables have turned, huh, Darkness?
Yeah.
This feels weird. This is just more reason for me to do the Reckoning. I hate that I don't have a Gambit set for my Warlock. I really want to get, like, ideally, I want to get an Invader, a full Invader set for my Hunter. And, like, a full, I don't know, you know, I was kind of torn, but I'm thinking, like, Reaper. I think I want a Reaper set for my Warlock. Or maybe a Sentry set for my Warlock. Yeah, maybe Sentry. Because I have a full Reaper and Collector set for my Titan that I do like using. I don't know. Conducive to my playstyle.
Okay.
Have you put any thoughts?
I don't think I have I don't think I have a full set for anything.
Incoming wait at the drill.
Like I have all the, you know, different. Ooh, I should
Folks
deposit.
training. The blockers must die, brother.
Okay, we good? Good. I'm so sick of this.
Yeah,
Just fuck it. Just
God
throw a Nova
damn
Bomb.
it.
Headed
Screw
to
it.
the other side.
Oh, I did it.
See, I was gonna
Oh, well that missed.
use the Controverse.
I need to run
Your
away.
what?
I said I need to run away. I've got like
You
14
should
minutes.
absolutely run away. Where are you?
Close to towards the back.
This is fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know how anybody could see that the Cabal are worse than the Vex. Good lord.
Invader on the field.
Oh man.
You have
This
11 modes.
sucks.
I'm keeping an
Yeah.
eye out. I don't see them yet. Oh, wait. I'm thinking middle. Yeah.
You see them? Middle. He's after me.
Headshot.
Hey, easy
Oh.
there.
Boom!
Nice.
Headshot.
Got him.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I finished my sidearm bounty, because it let me equip the Borealis. Freeing up that secondary slot, boo. Alright, let's get this guy off. Get over here. Get in that bank.
Alright.
Bank those moats.
Portals primed. Go make a mess. Opposing team's got a prime evil. Once it dies, they win.
It's rough. Alright.
Oh! Cyclops killed me. Wow.
Unfortunately, that doesn't sound too out of the ordinary. Oh, great. Somebody else on our team left? Fantastic. I love it when people quit prematurely.
That is such a strange choice to make. I mean, you'll get something just for finishing the match.
Well, damn, it's one of those modes that you get penalized for quitting early, and I don't even know why you'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah.
Fuck it. I have no game plan, and honestly, I don't have the weapons to support doing it, but fuck it.
Here. Go and go forth and destroy.
It's not terribly well equipped for it, you know? That's all.
10 seconds and I pull you back. That's 2. Not that time.
God damn.
I got 2, but got taken out.
Okay.
It's always tough when they respawn the...
Yeah. Mm.
That's right. I think I'm almost done with this auto rifle anyway. Oh, yay. Oh. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Nice.
Like, what are you doing?
What? Wow.
Portal's ready. Go say hello.
Okay.
Invader incoming.
Wonderful. I've got 10 motes, so he might be eyeing me.
Your ally neutralized.
Nice.
He's done.
Very nice. Thank you. Fantabulous. Let me go deposit these beasts. Good old Gambit.
I
I
love
don't know. You
making
think you'd be? You think you'd be a grim person going about the reaping, or? You know, yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be a reaper.
That's always
You like the
a
reaper
reaper.
perk?
And, you know, I like collecting. I like collecting.
1 down. 2 down.
Man, all this sniping.
Seconds and I pull you back.
Wow.
3 down.
4 people.
They wanted to fight you, right? That's what they said.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. Why y'all making me do this? Why y'all making me invade? Why can't I just collect? I'm so good at collecting, though.
Oh yeah, you
I'm a
like
collector.
collecting. I think you're a really good invader.
I think I'm a really good everything.
Okay.
No, I can't stand invading, Jessica. I like being a collector.
Okay. I actually thought you liked being an invader, because you get to, like, smack people in the face.
No.
Okay. Okay.
I can do it. I don't have a full. I'm. It's not my. Like I have a full collector set. I like dropping large blockers. You've seen how many emotes I have at the end of the match. I like collecting. Or reaping is fun because it's good to run around killing things. I've gotten Killmonger and Thrillmonger.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, I have never gotten Overkillmonger. Overkillmonger is when you get 80 kills without dying.
Incoming wave at the drill.
Wow.
Yeah, I've gotten Thrillmonger, which is 40 without dying, but not over.
Your allies invading the
Alright,
other side.
invade. Go for it.
Nice. And destroy it.
We need 2 more modes. I'm holding 5. Okay, this is absolutely my fault.
Get those moats to the
Alright,
bank.
I've got
Let's
Time
bank,
for
let's
a
bank.
primeval.
Oh, and
it is time for
well, I just got
Primeval.
BTFO'd. Holding 5 motes like a butthead.
Oh! Oh my, we need one more.
I'll take
Literally
the blame
one
for
more.
that.
And I just died getting.
I'll take the blame for that because I had 5.
Portals prime.
I had 5 and I should have just deposited them. I wasn't paying attention. Well, there you go.
Almost.
Boop.
Bank and get that primeval out there. It's not over.
Okay,
Kill
awesome.
That
Alright.
primeval.
Invaders.
You're being invaded. Find them before they find
Yeah.
you.
I got no eyes. I got no eyes on him, boo. Oh, I see him. He just jumped over my head.
I don't see him. Oh! Yeah, he just got me.
And gone.
Hey, easy there.
Nice.
I think you got him.
Killing invaders and invadees.
Invaders and invading.
One Borealis shot at a time. I gotta tell you, I love this sniper rifle. Y'all gonna make me kill all the primevals too, huh? Hello, dear.
I got one of the primevals. Hello.
You're back.
Thank you.
Get off my map.
All right. Feed your light to that primeval.
Okay, that was annoying. It went behind him. Thank you for showing me how to use a Nova Bomb, because clearly I have no clue. Clearly I have no idea how these things work. Just shot one, it like flew over his shoulder. The primeval just looked at me like, huh? Oh.
Your allies invaded.
What
Yeah,
was that?
seriously. It's your first day as a warlock, buddy? Jeez. Just bought the game, huh? Yeah. Alright. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Gotta get these sword bounties somehow. Boop! All the boops. Get him. Alright.
1 minute left. It's close.
It's kind of close. It shouldn't be this close. Oh god.
Oh, oh, wow. Just threw me up against the wall and I died.
Oh, same here. They hit me against the ceiling. Good news, we don't have primeval death just yet. Bad news, time is running out, so we're gonna go for a timeout win. We have to do this now. Yeah,
30 seconds left.
we have to do this now. Like, it's not even about killing
Okay.
it at this point. It's just having more damage, having more DPS in.
Portals up. You've weaponized your light.
Get 'em.
Cook that
Get 'em.
primeval.
Get 'em.
Drifters hungry. Your allies
Get
invaded.
him. Get him.
You had to
Fuck.
move faster. Get him next time.
What? I don't know how they did that. Honestly, I don't know how they did that. That looks fishy
Little
to
bit fishy.
me. Yeah. And we lost somebody.
Yeah, we lost somebody like twice though. Remember, I talked about that earlier when somebody like they just dropped that, they just left the game.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Why would you leave? Like, I don't get that.
Oh, I got the bug out bag at 1,000. Huh.
The bug
Yeah,
out bag.
it's the
What is
Gambit
that?
The bug out bag is the Gambit machine gun. It's the Gambit submachine gun. Gambit, the submachine gun. It's called the. It's called the bug out bag.
Interesting. Okay.
Pedal Hawaii though. What is it?
Pedal Hawaii.
Yeah, like my recovery dropped to 99 as soon as I equipped this helmet for some reason. What, it's got like one more point of recovery? No, it's got one less point, so how's that even possible? No, that's 98. 99? What did that? The claws?
Oh, this is interesting. Somehow I've made progress on my daybreak bounty.
Really?
I guess.
Is it team
yeah.
oriented?
I guess there was somebody on our. I guess so. Because I have not been using daybreak at all.
Oh yeah, you're right. So do I. So do I. Indeed.
So I guess somebody on our team must have been a Dawnblade, and we get credit if they.
Hell yeah.
Which is great.
You've been landing final blows with vortex grenades?
Yes. So let's see.
I got like 3 so far.
I got 3 final blows. Yeah, me too.
Nice. Alright, I'm almost done with my auto rifle and my sword. My banshees.
I'm all done with my auto rifle. Yep, and I gotta do
Sidearm and sword?
sidearms. Sidearm and swords. Yes.
Savit. Xbox, but you can't play me. So we were supposed to be front loading the next topic of topical topicness.
Oh, the next.
I believe.
Oh, so somebody as they will, you know, as data mined the game.
The game.
You know, as they do. Yes, as data mined Destiny.
What did they find? I mean, you data mine
People, you know, as they will. Well, but they found something that was included in this patch, like the patch that went through yesterday, that gave us, you know, Guardian games and the Grandmaster, what is that? A Nightfall, all that fun stuff. It also came with a cutscene that we have not officially seen yet, but some people just went ahead and found it.
Really?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So the cutscene, spoilers, you know, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Apparently the cutscene, apparently the cutscene shows, it's just like a video of Jupiter. And, you know, it just shows, you know, there's like some close-ups of Jupiter, and then like at the last minute, you see like a triangle emerging out of the shadow of Jupiter. Yeah. So that means that it,
you watch those fronts, you watch your back.
The unholy Doritos.
The unholy Doritos.
Have made progress.
Take this story seriously. Doritos. Did you peep that gift I sent you? I made that, by the way. I made that.
You made that?
Hon, at this point, if you see most of the Destiny gifts I send you, or I've made them. The gift literally says "Expert Penguin sits." Yes, I made that gift. Did you see the Dorito presence on Rasputin's map?
No.
In the
I
look
didn't
at the
see
GIF I
that.
sent you. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Dear. Dear. Oh my God. Yeah, you need to look at the GIF I sent you.
Okay. Hold on,
That's what I'm saying.
the
Clearly,
project,
clearly
get
you
caught,
did not look at it.
You know. God damn it.
No,
I did
you
look
did
at
not.
it.
What was it? What was in the GIF? Yeah, there you go. Bluff.
It was the sorry, I was trying not to die. Sorry. So that did not work at all anyway. It was just you sitting on the thingy and the table was on fire. I thought that's
And?
all you were showing.
You didn't
me.
notice that the background was moving?
Hope you're proud. I am.
No, but let me
Lord
check now.
Why do I take out the time? I take out the time to make the footages and then make the gifages and then nobody looks at the gifages. They just do. I think, oh, he's just showing me an emote I'm already aware of.
Oh, what? Oh, that I did not realize that's what you were showing me.
Well,
That is a lot of trying.
I obviously wasn't showing you the emote.
I thought you were just being silly. Sometimes you're just silly, and I have learned to accept your silliness.
Everything I've ever sent you has a purpose. Everything. Even if it's a joke, it has a purpose. Ew.
I spot a high-value target.
I thought you were showing me you sitting there, and it's saying, I don't know. You're saying ew?
That is ew. You think I'm just randomly wasting my time when I send you things? It takes time to shoot footage and then
No.
turn that footage
I
into a
think-
GIF just to do it for no reason?
I mean, I didn't say you were doing it
You
for
just said
no
sometimes
reason.
I'm silly, but why would I do it just to be silly?
Because
No.
sometimes you're just making a joke.
Again, has there ever not been substance or greater meaning behind anything?
Invaders off the field.
There's always substance. Like, why do you think I'm using that specific emote? The "this is fine" emote. Why do you think I'm specifically using that one?
Hostiles incoming at the D.
It makes sense now, actually. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Like, yeah, this is fine. Even though there's like 15 of the things on the map now. But hey, Guardian Games! Guardian Games, everybody! Let's just ignore that there's like 15 pyramids on the map now. Oh god. We're all gonna die. The pyramids are coming.
Go make a mess.
The end is nigh.
The other side. Guardian down.
The end is nigh. But hey, let's play Guardian
Yeah.
Games, y'all.
Here, penguins have layers, okay? Penguins have layers.
Like onion
Yes, and like cakes.
and like parfait.
No, not like parfaits.
Your invaders back with 3 kills. Yeah.
Parfaits have layers. Everybody likes parfait.
No. No. Parfaits are also soft.
No. So is cake.
High value target is down.
Loading retort. Hold on. Got the dial up. Got the dial up going. Yo, what are these shriekers and why can't we kill them?
I don't know what's going on with these shirts.
I've been trying to. Okay. Okay, so
Okay.
for some reason in PvE,
Been trying to.
in regular PvE, you can kill a shrieker with a sword, but in Gambit you can't.
Yeah, I don't
Alright,
know
I'll
what's up with
accept
that.
that bullshit. Sure. What do you mean I'm overreacting? No, I'm not. Oh man. Get off my butt cheeks! Sorry, there's a bunch of thrall like hitting me in my nethers.
In your nether?
The regions of the nether.
Portal's up. Go look them in the eyes. Allies headed to the other side.
Oh, this is great. We're blocking the S out of them.
Small blocker.
Just sent out another one. I figure as long as they're making me use the what's it called? I guess I'll use the Monte Carlo. Why? Because the Monte Carlo gives you back your melee
Invaders
energy.
back with 2 kills.
Oh,
With
nice.
a chance to fully restore it on kill. Oh no, you died.
Very cool. I did.
Portal's
I revived.
Thank you.
What?
Oh,
I thought I got you.
Close. Bang.
Weird.
Yeah.
Summon that prime evil.
I thought you did too.
It was
Yeah,
like,
that
nah,
is
man.
weird. It was like too late. It's too late.
You're nearly there. Fill the bank. Get that prime evil.
They're like
up.
the curse of
Prime
Gabriel
evil's up.
dictates that we must
Burn
poop
the
on your
outpost
dreams at least
first.
once. But wow,
How is that the curse of Gabriel?
to get back on topic, I think that's awesome. Against my better judgment, of course I watched it. Why did I do that? But, exciting.
Yeah.
I love how they leave that little bit, the little tip for the very end. Like, oh, why am I
Yeah.
looking at Jupiter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah, what's going on Jupiter? Oh, jeez.
Invader on the
There is
field.
something that there's something I don't know what notes those are. I wish I was more in tune with music and composition so I could know exactly what notes those are, because I'm pretty sure those are 2 very cleverly played notes. But whatever they're using to compose this, I don't know what to call it other than the Darkness song, but I really like that song.
Yeah.
Every time I hear pieces of it, or
Yeah.
like
Gone.
you kind of hear a little bit of it the very first time you see a pyramid
Cook that prime evil.
in the first mission when you're on the moon, and you just get this. It just sounds
Yeah.
sinister. It just sounds foreboding and sinister, and I don't know what the threat of the darkness is, but that song, that little tune, that is threatening. I'm so glad that,
Yeah.
Mike Salvatore is really just really carrying that torch, man, because you don't take Marty O'Donnell's or Mick Gordon's for granted, okay? They are invaluable. They contribute
Yeah, I
so
can't-
much to. I mean, yeah, sure, the shooty bang is important, but have you ever I just rip all of the music out of Halo and tell me how much you enjoy playing that. Like, sure, you'll enjoy it, but it loses something without that soundtrack. Like, people just
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
appreciate just how much a soundtrack brings to a game.
Absolutely.
And yeah, well, like, I know you're about to expand a little bit. Yeah, what's happening with Mick Gordon right now is
Ally
pretty
neutralized the invader.
What is
unbelievable,
going
to be
on?
honest. Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy because someone found out. Well, there was this person who was like, I guess he was listening to the soundtrack. They just recently released the soundtrack, finally. Mind you, the game came out like over a month
Yeah.
ago, but the OST finally came out. And someone was listening to it, and I guess they have a couple of tracks from Doom 2016 on it. And he noticed, this Twitter user noticed that, like, wow, this mix is kind of flat, and it sounds
Yeah.
a bit muted compared to the way it sounded in Doom 2016. And then, of course, he put it in an audio program
Yeah.
and blew it up, and, like, the wavelengths were completely different. Like, the wavelengths in the Doom Eternal version are really flat compared to the wavelengths in the normal version. And, he went on in a bunch of tweets, like, I can't, this is interesting, this is kind of disappointing, like, I can't believe I can't believe Mick Gordon would let it out like this, and etc. etc. And he had to chime in the tweet like, actually, I did not have anything to do with this. He's like, I had to do with. He's like, I worked on these 3 tracks, and you can hear the tracks that I worked on. These are the tracks that I did. But as for those other ones, that was not me at all. And it sucks that, you know, because, again, Mick Gordon's name is on the freaking soundtrack, of course, anybody listening to it would assume that it's his fault that the mix turned out the way it did.
That it's his mix.
When really, it seems like Bethesda just didn't let him finish. It seems like they just wanted to rush it out, or whatever happened, they did not let him finish working on the album and just pushed it out there. And astute listeners were very quick to realize this sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
Also,
so
side
crazy.
note, game journalists, YouTube personalities, people who are reporting on this. Why does everybody not also acknowledge that Mick Gordon worked on the fucking Killer Instinct soundtrack? Everybody's like, Mick Gordon, he did Doom, and he did Wolfenstein, and he did... They say everything but Killer Instinct. And...
Which is crazy to me, because that's like my favorite of his, you know, I think that's some of his best work.
And also, if you want to trace a line if you want to trace a technology line, right? The same technology that's being used in Doom that dynamically syncs the soundtrack with the action on screen. He's doing that in Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct soundtrack does the same thing. It does the same thing. The record, like the track skips when people do combo breakers. The song either intensifies or de-intensifies when people are doing a combo or blocking. The soundtrack in Killer Instinct is doing the same thing that Doom soundtrack does. But no one acknowledges exactly what Mick Gordon did for KI. Like, every time people talk about his past work, they always talk about Wolfenstein. Or Doom. And it's like, that's cool and all, but I mean, shit. He also made one of the most badass soundtracks I've ever heard in a fighting game. And this is in a world where, you know, I mean, the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike soundtrack exists. I mean, that's like in my top 3 soundtracks, like fighting game soundtracks. Oh my god. I don't know if you remember that Street Fighter 3 Third Strike had this very urban, hip-hop, and jazz-infused soundtrack.
Yes, I remember that.
Incroyable. You fuck.
Invaders out. You'll get him.
I almost killed him, but then he turned invisible and disappeared behind a damn rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. We're not looking great. We're only looking kind of good.
No.
But yeah.
30 seconds. It's not
Yeah,
over
you
yet.
know, I feel like we just give some love where it's due. There's like a thread on Reddit that has like 18,000 upvotes that's like, let Mick finish his soundtrack. Like Bethesda. Like Bethesda, you still have time to make this right. Let him finish his soundtrack. Like, don't. Yeah, like, don't, man. His name is on this, and and like he has said in an interview, he takes great pride in his work.
You've weaponized your light. Cook that primeval.
I can imagine.
Like I
heard him talk about how he composed Doom. I know he takes great pride in his work.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, I mean, I guess I don't understand why they felt they had to push it out as quickly as they did. Because I remember... Oh, did you get kicked out?
No.
No? I said the player left your fire team.
I don't know. I'll just rejoin you. What were you saying? Just to kill the matchmaking.
I even remember. Yeah, I did. I did. So, yeah, I remember even when when he was working on Killer Instinct, like the soundtrack wasn't available right away. Like the game came out, and I remember I was freaking obsessed, and it took a minute for the soundtrack to come
I
out.
really like Combo's
So I
song.
don't understand why they couldn't have. I really like.
You like Thunder's
Um,
song.
I like Thunder's song. That's like my jam
Well, the great
for
the
sure.
all right, well, all right. Just not to make the entire discussion about Killer Instinct talking about Jupiter a second ago, but to say that like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
remember one thing I love about Combo's track is exemplified in the rest of the soundtrack, which is that he took the original music and instead of simply remixing or
Mhm.
rearranging it, what he did was he made new tracks that had roots in the original track and then somehow mixed the original tracks into
Mhm.
them. Like Combo's song is incredible to me because it's not only a fully fledged rap song in its own right that uses a lot of the same instruments that the original
Mhm.
did, but right on the bridge of the song, the original song kicks in. Right there. And it plays at
Mm.
length and then it switches back and forth and it my nostalgia boner was like, oh man, like, you can tell, you can feel it, you can feel that it is such a labor of love because he not only highlighted what made the soundtrack great, he not only knew what made the original soundtrack great, but he built on it and then iterated on it. You know, it's the same thing with his Doom soundtrack. That that's the original level 1 Doom music. You know, everybody know, or at least anybody that's played Doom knows
Mm.
that. Everybody knows that. But what Mick Gordon
Mhm.
did with that? What? What?
Yeah.
You played
Well,
the
he did.
intro of Doom after I
He did
forced
this.
you to finally play it.
Yes, I
You
did.
heard it while Samuel Hayden is trying to explain to you. He's like, we did it for the greater good of mankind. You can hear it building in the background slowly as the Doomslayer like clenches his fist, like,
Mhm.
you dumb motherfuckers. And then he just punches the monitor, and it's just ah. Anyway, you do not
Yeah.
take the work of a man who adores his work so much that he lovingly crafts music around experiences. You do not take the work of this man and poop on it. Okay? Remember, what was Activision Bungie did the same thing with the music of the Spheres from Marty. Remember, it took like
Yeah,
2.5, almost
I
3
remember that.
years for them to finally release this music, and this music was intended to be like a prelude to Destiny. Just a musical
Yeah,
soundscape.
I
I almost shed
remember.
a tear. Okay, listening to the music of the Spears, like front to back. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful piece of music.
Falling on the horizon.
Ah, just
Uh,
the corporate arm of the industry just. The way it clashes with the creative side sometimes just blows my mind, and it's like, why?
He tells him to show up.
Why?
or
It's
die.
virus time. You literally can take all the time you need to release this OST.
it's virus time.
People are stuck in
Yeah.
their homes.
Ready
What
to
were you
drop?
rushing for? Why couldn't you let him finish?
All right, you know how
That
this
just shows
works.
me whoever was
Get it
pushing the
done,
buttons there
get
just
paid.
just had
Incoming
no
hostiles
respect
at
for
the
the
ring.
craft. Who would make a decision like that? And to hear that he's like, I
Yeah.
doubt we'll be working together. I'm like, oh man, what bad experience did you have? Like, I don't even. It hurts my soul.
Yeah.
I really need them to kiss and make up because the game industry does not need to lose a Mick Gordon. Okay, we already lost a Marty O'Donnell. Okay, we can't have fucking Bear McCreary make all of the game soundtracks. So can we just chill? Can we chill?
Hostiles incoming.
Like Bear McCreary be killing it. Okay, I like his
Yeah.
work, and he did great work on like Halo 4. And don't get me wrong, but listen, we cannot leave it all up to him. All right, we got to keep the true
No.
auteurs. My soul. My heart, my soul.
Medium blocker on its way
Also,
to the other side.
honorable mention
I
goes to
like
Heart
your style.
for
Portal
the
is
Max
prime.
Payne 3
Lock.
soundtrack. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Woo! Sorry. Woo! Sorry. Rockstar really needs to remaster that and give that game a second shot at greatness. I just need a 4K 60 FPS
Incoming
remastered
hostiles at
version
the
of
ring.
Max Payne 3 for next gen consoles. That's all I need. That's all I need. Just give me that. Do you think that's too much?
No. Actually, if there's any game worthy of that, it's definitely Max
Right?
Payne 3. Because I think they did what they did was so original,
Yes. Max on fire.
and it didn't really get. Yeah, and it really didn't get the attention that it should have
No.
at the time. Because the landscape was so crowded at the time. There was like every other week there was a AAA title vying for
2012
attention.
was crowded.
So
2012 was crowded as
Yeah.
F. It really was. And Max Payne, you know,
So yeah,
Focus
I think
The
they
blockers must
totally
die,
should.
brother. Got eyes on a high-value target.
like I can, and you can tell.
Right.
And the sad part is like,
Find them
you
before
can
they find
you can
you.
honestly tell that Rockstar spent a lot of money on it. You can tell they spent a lot of money on Max Payne.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I can see that.
But oh, my soul, my heart, my soul. But wonderful segue as that was to music. As to say, yes, people,
Vader's
music.
gone. Get
Music
him
matters.
next time.
I don't think you're sitting here playing Destiny.
It absolutely does.
While you take that Gambit theme for granted, that like, listen, as one of many variations on this game's main theme, it works. It works really well. And you already know how I feel about the song. What is that? I think it's called
Yeah.
Journey. That song that plays after you lose your light. You're coming around the hill, and you see the Traveler with the thingy on it.
Yeah.
And then the Cabal shit. Oh my gosh. That moment. That was such a moment. That was such an amazing
Yeah.
moment. Oh my god.
No! Oh god. Yeah.
It's an incredible moment.
brother.
I'm sorry.
Whack the blockers.
It almost
Invader on
made
the
me
field.
wish that Destiny was structured in two halves, to be honest. Two separate, distinct halves that nevertheless feed into one another.
Guardian down.
God damn it.
It's all right,
I'm
man.
sorry. I was trying really hard not to lose the 15 motes I had, and I used my super. I just. Sorry. I'm sorry. You were saying the game is split into two.
No, it made
distinct
me
halves?
wish that the game was split
You'll
into
get
two
'em next
distinct
time.
halves, meaning that, you know, I wish they had the confidence to just have Destiny have a standard single-player campaign that you can play through that's just very focused on the story, and then when you're done playing the single player, then you get let into this huge expansive grindy ending. But I wish the prerequisite was playing
Yeah.
a very focused, you know, singular single-player campaign that then opened up this kind of world for you afterwards. You know what I mean? Because they've more than proven that they can set these extremely tightly scripted, you know, really cinematic levels and missions. They've more than proven that they can craft these within the framework of Destiny. So
Yeah.
I don't see why they
Indeed they
can't.
have.
Oh, shit. The invader's like right next to me. Woo! Oh man. Okay. All right. We made it. We made it. I have 14 motes. Somebody help me here.
Nice. Alright, I'm heading over there. Oh.
I did.
All right.
Oh god, that was funny. Record that. Oh, that's great. All right, so yeah, like I don't see why not. Like I would have loved to have played the Red War as a static campaign, and then boom, you know, let me hit the tower and engage in the end
Yeah,
game
I feel
after.
like it would have been so much more poignant if you had not gotten your light back right away. Like,
Guardian down.
Well, that's the problem. I think because of the game's focus on being multiplayer, it's like you can't sustain a player state like that at length. Because they also expect you to engage in the multiplayer portion of it. And it's like, well, how do you do that if you're I'm dead? And it's like, how do you do that if your light is gone, quote unquote? And I'm like, that's why you should just trap us in like a 4 to 5 hour campaign first. Contextualize all of this expansive space. You know, I feel like it would feed into itself really well. Like the restrictions on place in the single player would then be lifted, and then you could feel like you have all of this time to explore these environments that were previously closed off.
yeah. And all the things that everyone says you did, you really did.
Allies headed to the
You know
other
what I
side.
mean? Like, oh, you slayed gods, you did all this stuff. Did you though? Not
Well,
necessarily.
no. That is always a team effort, and I always like that it's a team effort. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you can fight Gaul by yourself, sure, but take on Callus and the Leviathan, take on Oryx and his throne world? No, that's absolutely a multiple Guardian activity. But that's the kind of stuff that you could tackle in Endgame after your personal story is done.
Back. No kills on either
You know, like all of you powerful Guardians get to come together later on after you've gotten your light back and everything, and then you fight the big bads. Like, I don't want to kill Zol alone. That sounds kind of crazy and impossible. But 6 Guardians, 6 powered up Guardians killing Zol? Absolutely. And I mean, technically, I still did it. Shoot, what, you mean just because you was there, I didn't do it? Of course, of course I still did it. You know, we kill gods. That's what we do. What we do on the weekends.
Well, yeah. What I mean is that, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you start playing Destiny today,
Yeah.
right?
Your allies invading the other side.
All the stuff
Incoming.
that everyone says you did, you didn't actually do.
Well, that's why I told you, hun, that whenever I hear somebody say Guardian, I do not feel individually addressed. I feel like I'm being addressed as a collective. That's kind of part of the reason why I feel that way. When they say, like, you killed gods, I feel like he's saying, like, you, as in the royal you. Not like I single-handedly took out Oryx.
But that,
Like, I had a hand in it.
yeah, I think that's an issue that the game has, because they actually want you to think that it was you, but it's not. It doesn't come across
I
that
still
way.
disagree with that.
Portals up.
I still
Yeah.
disagree with that. I feel like the game very much says it in a way that implies that it was a bunch of you and not singularly you. Because that's impossible. It's impossible. There's no way you by yourself killed Oryx. There's no, it's impossible. Impossible for one person to have done that. No.
No, I don't mean the stuff that was clearly meant to be more than one person.
Those are the
but,
gods
like,
we've killed in
you-
raids.
But you killed Aldrin,
Aldrin's not
for
a
example,
god.
right?
He's an awoken dude. He's a
Well,
dude.
yeah, but
a dude.
but that was supposed to be part of your story. Like, that was supposed to be your story. Like, that wasn't supposed to be a team effort. That was your story and your
I
choice.
suppose. Well, individually, did we not all kill Aldrin Sav?
Right,
Well,
individually,
actually-
we all did. But when they say you, when somebody says, oh, you know, you really got in there and took care of
You
all
did.
the stuff, they're talking about
Yes.
you in particular. They're not talking about
Well,
a
yes,
bunch
that's
of
a
Guardians.
particular case. Yes, you did, indeed.
Portals prime.
So,
Yeah.
what do you...
Go make
I don't get
a
what you're
mess.
talking about then.
That's the round. Opposing team smash.
You did do it.
Prime evil. You've weaponized your light. Cook that prime evil.
What just happened? Did
No,
we
we
win?
lost.
Oh no, we lost. Okay.
So how's that erroneous? You did. You did. You know you did. You watched
What
the
I'm trying to
cutscene yourself.
say
So how is that erroneous?
So all of the stuff that happens, it's supposed to be like, yes, there are all these other guardians and there are things that happen to us together, but the story being told is supposed to be your
But
story.
Jessica, contextualized, you did do it. You yourself did do it. So,
Yes.
but when they talk about raids and large bosses, they don't talk about that in the same context that they do when they talk about something like Aldrin Sov or the Fanatic. There's usually the language usually implies the scope or severity of your actions. It usually does. But I mean, what takes away from the fact that you killed Aldrin Sov? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, is there anything in the game that takes away from the fact that you did it?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's no problem. I'm saying that what the game expects you to think is that the overall story is your story.
How does it not communicate this? How? My question is, what is the problem here? How does it not communicate this to you? It does. How do you feel like you didn't kill Aldrin Sov?
Well, you were just saying. No, but that's what you were saying, that whenever the game says Guardian, you feel as if it's addressing the royal you.
Because
and
it
it's
does.
Not... Okay. I think there's a conflict there in that.
Okay, so what is the conflict exactly? Because Guardian is plural as well as singular.
No, Guardian is one Guardian.
Jessica,
not
what is your
Guardians.
issue? I'm struggling to figure out what your issue is, because it makes just as much sense, but it makes just as much sense for you to have taken out Aldrin Sov as it does for you and a group of others to have taken out Oryx. The game makes you feel like you avenged Cade, so where's the conflict? I still feel like I avenged Cade, and I still feel like I contributed to the death of several gods. What about the way the story is told makes you not feel that way? Because I don't think there's a conflict there.
You don't think that there's a... Well, there's a little bit of a tightrope that they're walking, you know, and that some events are meant to be like for us, for all the Guardians, right? And then there are things that are meant to be solely about specific people. And we are supposed to be, like you in particular, are supposed to be like a rock star Guardian, like the Guardian.
Okay, again, how does the game undermine this?
Just
How
like,
does I'm just asking, how does the game undermine this feeling? It doesn't, though. Even though you know, like, even though I was sitting right next to you when you beat Riven, okay? I beat Riven with you, okay? We both watched the same cutscene together. Was there anything about it that made you feel like you hadn't accomplished your mission as an individual? Because I didn't feel that way. I felt like I had accomplished my mission as an individual. Even though I did the final mission with you, there was nothing about the way it was shown, the way the cutscene played out. There's nothing about it that made me feel like I did not individually complete my mission of revenge.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, in a meta way, I can acknowledge that you were there and that we did it together, but the game didn't make it feel that way. The game still showed the cutscene with only my Guardian in it. It still showed Petra only talking to me. You know, even when we beat Shadowkeep.
Right.
You know, the darkness takes on the appearance of your Guardian. Even though we beat the game together, the darkness still talks to you looking like you. So
yeah, that's that was just what I was saying. I don't know what we're arguing here.
Ready to drop?
You were saying there was a conflict.
Hey, hey!
And I'm saying that there isn't one, because the game still portrays you front and center in all the cutscenes and material. So I'm asking you where the conflict is,
Yeah.
because I don't see it. So we're not saying the same thing.
Well, if you see it that way, if you feel like there are points where you feel like the story is yours, and that the points where it's supposed to be many guardians are clear, then I don't think there's a conflict. I don't think that's I mean, actually, yeah, now that I really think about it.
Hostiles inbound at the beach.
I don't think there's a conflict at all.
There's definitely, I mean, narratively, like you said, it's walking a tightrope. It really is walking a tightrope, but it very narrowly avoids that tightrope. The conflict that I was kind of speaking about in terms of, like, you know, wanting there to be a separate campaign is that mechanically there's definitely a divide, because the multiplayer nature of the game compromises the design of it. Because it needs to be multiplayer, they can't take your light away for an extended period of time. Because it needs to be multiplayer, they can't really do anything terribly ambitious with you or with the narrative story-wise, because it has to be homogenized and flattened for multiple people to experience the same thing as you. So while they do take great strides to make you feel like, I guess, yeah, I mean, you're doing it, the design of the game keeps it from going as far as it could. And that's all I was saying. Like, I wish that we would just sequester people off for, like, maybe a nice, tight 4-hour campaign, and then just let them into the open world and the end game and the crab and all the... I honestly don't see what's wrong with that kind of design. I mean, the Division, to a certain degree, does this, where story missions, you know, kind of exist, not in their own microcosm, but they exist in such a way that hints at the larger world, but you're locked into a rigid structure until Endgame actually asserts itself. You know, and then when Endgame hits, it's like, oh, all the story shit is done. Oh, now I have all this Endgame shit. But Destiny always feels like its campaigns and its Endgame are going on at the same time. Or at worst, and I hate to say it this way, but
this is
I
what
feel
happened.
like Shadowkeep is, at worst, the campaign is literally just a tutorial for the endgame. Because that's I like Shadowkeep's ideas and story elements and etc. But the campaign is literally a tutorial for the endgame. It is. They're like, oh, Eris needs you to investigate the dark presence in the moon. It's literally a tutorial for the phantasmal fragments. Then it's like, Eris needs you to look up this other thing and do this thing. Then, oh, that's how they teach you about the Lectern of Enchantment. Like, everything you do in Shadowkeep is there to teach you about the endgame shit. It's not really a story mode as much as it is a really long tutorial. And it's like, that's just potential that we just left on the table. Just so we had to structure the campaign like a tutorial. Instead of something really affecting and interesting about the darkness and the pyramids and the rabble and the Red Keep. The Red Keep. I'm not even gonna correct myself. I'm not even gonna correct myself. That's what it is. It's the Red Keep. It's the Sept.
Oh, it's not. It's the Sept.
It's Baylor's Sept. Yeah, pretty much. Fuck it, I'm not gonna correct myself. I've been calling it the Red Keep since the game came out. This is Bungie's fault. They knew what they were doing. I'm like, oh, the Scarlet Keep. Yeah, okay. We all watch Game of Thrones, Bungie. We all watch Game of Thrones.
Invaders gone.
Should have called it the Crimson Castle.
Oh, wow. The Crimson Castle.
High value target eliminated. Invaders here. Brace yourself.
Rossclot. This is awful.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Guardian down. Your enemy called up a primeval. They kill it. They win this. Portal's up. Go look them in the eyes. Invaders off the field.
Man, the salt floweth tonight.
Yeah, really.
It'll always be hit or miss when you're running around with teams in Gambit, you know?
Yeah.
Partially why, like, you know, exactly why I don't play competitive. That's kind of why. Unless I got a solid 3 or 4 people, I don't want to randomly be matched up with teams that are, you know, not on their Qs and Qs and Qs.
Guardian
The
down.
QPs.
Yeah. Thank you.
In any case, I do still love our talks.
Allies headed to the other side.
Well, and then...
Guardian down.
Crap. Jesus. I mean, just like in vanilla Destiny, you know, not only is it the fact that you couldn't, like you said, they really couldn't sustain the idea of you not having your light for a certain period of time, but even then the goals of the story, you know, like...
Oh, well, yeah, the original Destiny definitely hit that conflict just, yeah, yeah, right on the nose. But you can tell Destiny was intended to be something like that before they changed it. Because of the way they had to rejigger the story and everything. You can tell it was almost originally intended to be something like what I suggested. Like a campaign that would then spill into expansive endgame. Yeah. I always wonder what it would have been like had, you know, had everybody got along and really came together on what Destiny should have been. I do wonder how different the game would be. I do wonder how different the game would be now if that had originally happened. Be like, you gotta work to simultaneously lose the person responsible for your stories and your music.
I mean, yeah, that's serious.
And then I think right after Taken King, they lost that writer too.
Kills on either side.
Yeah, and then they had to shift gears again, which is like...
No, well, they didn't shift
why,
gears
though?
after Taken King, did they?
Guardian down.
No, I'm saying a year after Taken King, they
well-
lost the writer of Taken King. Oh, we got back to...
Until they did.
Oh, jeez.
I never thought an Iron Lord could die. Until they did.
Portals
Love you, Saladin. Nothing but love for you, Saladin.
The other side.
Love your monotone voice. That's 2. It's just wonderful trying to hear him get excited, but he's got to be monotone. Like Saladin, are you always this unhappy?
This is my happy voice.
Oh.
He's just old.
Right.
Like, he's just
Like
an
the Danny
old
Glover
man.
of,
Yeah.
of Destiny.
Hostiles
He's
Yeah.
just too old for this ish.
Yes. He's just too old for all of it. I don't know. I really wish that they would like
Portal is primed. Lock and load.
commit to just telling a story and stop worrying so much about it lasting forever. You know, it doesn't have to.
Given the design of the game, it kinda does.
Your allies invaded.
But they wrote themselves into that corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Borderlands does just fine being a co-op shooter. It does not have MMO aspirations. It's just a co-op looter shooter, and it allows itself to have a campaign, have an expansive world, have shit tons of loot, and still tell a good story while it's at it. This game has MMO aspirations, and I think that's where a little bit of the conflict in design comes from. Because instead of just being an experience that you can take at your own leisure, it's a living experience that has to evolve and move and change, and you know, that's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
That is a lot.
You know, it's just like Epic has a lot of work to do every time they do it. They're constantly working on Fortnite. Constantly working on it. It's like, well, that's what you got to do when you position your game like it's alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Guardian down.
I would be curious to see what they would come up with for Destiny 3. Whether or not they'll try and assert that old design.
Me too.
Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a testament to its quality in certain aspects that it still has a very passionate and dedicated audience, even if they drop off from time to time.
Yeah.
They're still here, and they care enough to be angry.
Yeah.
You know, apathy is what you should always be
Yeah.
afraid of. But Destiny's audience still cares enough to be angry and to still be vocal. So
Your
that's a
allies
lot
invading
after
the other
Mhm.
side.
5, 6 years.
Guardian down.
That's commendable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. For sure. That, yeah. They really should be very thankful that people care enough about Destiny. That Paul Tassi is obsessed enough to write daily articles about Destiny. I mean,
right?
you know,
Paul Cassie out here doing the Lord's
like-
work, doing mathematical calculations on
back
darknesses
and they scored a
advancing.
kill.
we got Bife here making hour-and-a-half videos
Bife!
about
Oh,
Destiny. That's no joke.
our real life lore master.
Like real life lore daddy.
the reason the lore master title exists.
Yeah.
Is Bife like the only one with that title?
Probably. They just made that for
I
Bife.
have a statistic. Is Bife the only one that's unlocked this title? Because that would not surprise me. Like you have to have.
No, it wouldn't shock me at all.
I mean, shit.
Almost there.
I feel like Bife should have just gotten it as soon as he signed in. Like, don't make Bife earn that.
It's not over.
My man has a 4.5 hour long
They
video
just
Invaders
detailing your story.
called the complete
Yes.
Your
history
allies
of
invading
And he
the other
makes it
side.
look so exciting and amazing in a way that Bungie, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
never bothered to. The way he tells these stories of Twilight Gap and of the Queen and of the origins of the Hive. Just
Yeah.
the amount of detail and the degree to which he does it is
Get
just
'em
like
next time.
he had. I mean,
Yep.
you have to acknowledge that if he's people have to acknowledge that if he's literally just getting all of this shit from grimoire cards and lore tabs on weapons and armor, that he is overcompensating like crazy, contextualizing
No, he
this
is
stuff as like
legit.
dialogue and setting
Yeah.
and wow. Just,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah. No, he's out here doing the Lord's work. Here, he's doing the work Bungie should be doing, to be completely honest. But like today, for example, as I was working, he has a video out about how
Your light's supercharged.
Brother
Turn up
Vance
the heat on that primeval.
is I mean we already knew this, but
Guardian down.
what? Fuck.
Wow.
Invader's gone. Get him next time.
Yeah, about how Brother Vance was never on the up and up,
Brother Vance, Brother Vance, Brother Vance.
and
You talking about the blind dude?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Your allies
he
invade.
made a
1
video
minute
today. You know, using some lore cards from Trials of Osiris. He pulled some stuff from like Destiny 1. Okay, he went all the way
Wow.
back. And yeah, he's like, well, you know, Vance was never on the up and up because if you remember, this is what he said before. And
30 seconds. Finish strong.
basically, Trials of Osiris is a scam.
What?
Like,
Invader
yeah,
inbound.
you should watch it. Like,
The lead's yours.
Get off my map with that
You didn't
weak
start that
shit.
fight. You finished it. Guardian down. You're in the lead.
Nah, man, I had to beat that ass. I had to beat them cheeks.
This round,
nice. That was nice. You have to beat them
Oh
cheeks.
man, did you see that? He came in with a sword.
a most lot of
With a
Boy,
sword.
stop.
This is all going towards
Boy,
a
stop.
good cause.
I'm sorry. Now that's how you kick. That's how you kick it. That's how you win at the last second. So he hit you with a sword. I said, "Oh hell no!" Just jumped down with my sword out. Got him with the. Then went up to the primeval and got him with the.
With the
Short you can just hit him with the.
with the
Okay, sorry.
hit them with the
Long as we don't.
with
Yeah,
the
as
shirt
long as we
you
don't
can.
end on no L's, okay? Because not about that life.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Do you think we have enough gambit for the day, or what do you want to do?
I mean, I feel like,
Or do you want to go to the tower?
well, I was just eyeballing the time a little bit. I feel like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
you have your gold Gambit medal by now, right? We played enough Gambit. All right.
I do.
So then, yeah, hey,
Yes.
hey, even though we didn't get the smaller bounties, these medals are what you throw into the tower. So let's knock them out. Let's knock them in there. We got the medals. We got the medals.
Okay.
Let's see the medals.
Yes. At the medals.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm saying. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking, remember about Mummies Alive?
Wow. You know, I actually never watched that.
Remember? Well, you never watched Mummies
No.
Alive?
I knew of it, but I never watched it. I'm sorry. I know my street cred has taken an immeasurable blow because of this, but yeah. You can still tell me.
Yeah. Well, the theme song was like, he's got the mummies from 1525 BC. He's got the mummies.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
YouTube, here I come.
that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, you should
Oh no, I
find
was
it on
just singing the
YouTube.
part of the Prince Ali song where he was like, he's got the monkeys. Let's see the monkeys. Yeah, I was all up on
Wow,
my
that's
75 golden monkeys.
Yeah.
Because we had all the gold medals. So I was, I was thinking about the golden monkeys. Because of the medals.
The golden monkeys.
Gold banana. Shout out to Donkey Kong.
Gold banana.
Ah, yes. Shout out to Donkey Kong 64. The golden bananas. He had to collect his golden bananas. And the golden bananas were dull. Product placement. The gold bananas were dull bananas, Jessica. They were dull. I died. I died.
Oh, you died. Death.
Product placement is the last thing you expect to see in a Nintendo game. The last thing you expect to see is product placement. But lo and behold, Donkey Kong's golden bananas were dull. And I'm just like, what? What? This is amazing. Alright. I did join your heathen side. You want to approach the podium together?
My heathen side.
Oh wow, looks like Titans smacked it today. Oof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Titans are coming back. Where'd you go? No, I don't get a hug. You were just doing some kind of weird.
Come on. Nah, come on, bring it in. We did it for the Warlocks today. Come on. Yeah. That's how you do it. Yep. Smells like victory.
Yeah.
These smells of victory.
Yes. I smell the victory.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
What I love the idea of Guardian games.
Alright, so
Checking now.
having experienced your first kind of run of the Guardian games and the weird bounties that lie within, have your thoughts, opinions changed? I mean, I know we're not doing anything that's terribly out of the ordinary, you know, in the grand scheme.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun. I enjoyed that. It's basically the same activities, right? You just get medals for it.
And again, I gotta throw out there that the bounties at least ask you to play the game in a way that you may not be used to playing, and I don't know. I think I find a lot of value in the game by playing it that way, you know, like by playing it in weird ways. Or, but I feel like that's part of the magic, because it's very easy to get locked into a pattern. If it makes you step out of your comfort zone at least a little bit, you know, I feel like there's a victory at hand. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that is quite true.
Ah, Baka then. Well, final thoughts? Rabble? Crabble? Dabble?
What do you think of my response?
Final thoughts. Well, I mean, if anything, this will serve as something of a distraction from the bunker boogaloo that has been the past few weeks, you know. Or you know, we can expand on that a little bit. I mean, I think it's fun. I could see that they definitely took the time to make this cool and make this like the new Revelry. Curious to see where the story goes in the next couple of weeks. But it should be exciting. I like it.
Not possible.
Right.
Hi again, Guardian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does the exploring. I make the deals. Welcome to the
Get my
Eververse,
Forge game on. Okay.
No word from Fenchurch today.
Yes. At least a couple of weeks. All right.
No hurry, Guardian.
Hi again, Guardian. Name, Guardian?
Fenchurch
Oh
does
dear,
the exploring.
A5530 BLNR and DGS6 are down.
So then I opened the crate. Needless to say, I sent the whole shipment back to Fenchurch.
Just browsing. Switch the routes. Hi again, Guardian.
Eververse trades in goods we feel enhance a Guardian's journey.
Oh, let me check right away.
Eververse isn't just a title, it's a family philosophy.
Too heavy. Too
Always
heavy.
another mile, and forever another tomorrow.
We have survived the Red Legion before.
Oh, hello.
We will do it again.
Are you talking to the postmaster?
Oh dear, oh dear.
No.
A5530 BLNR and DGS6 are down.
Are you alright?
In the grand scheme, no. But I took one for the team, and I think I have masked my illness pretty well. So far. So thank you
Switch the routes.
for making a
Okay.
big thing out of that.
Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to make a big thing out of anything. But how about I tell everyone about where they can find us on the internet?
Only if they want to keep watching us do these Guardian games while waxing nostalgic, ooh, she did it. While waxing, poetically about the things that make these great games what they are. Perhaps how they can be improved and just how much
Well-
we appreciate them in general,
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
That special flavor that only the expert playlist can provide.
Transaction to make, Guardian?
Yeah. So I think people should definitely check us out on the Instagrams, and on the Twitters, and on the
Right,
Facebooks,
right.
and on the
Absolutely.
YouTubes.
Mhm.
Especially on Inferno Penguin's back.
Yeah. InfernalPenguins.com. You heard the hostess with the mostess.
Yes.
Do catch us here every Monday and Wednesday at 9:45-ish p.m.
And 45, 10-ish.
PM.
Yes.
every week with the occasional bonus episode on Friday or the weekends. We do this every week, even when we're sick. Why? Why do we do it? Because we
Even
love
when
it.
we're sick. Because
Love it.
we love it.
Stay tuned for more wax, more nostalgia, a little bit more on the news side, because we are that good. That good. We're that well versed. We don't just play Destiny here. Okay. I know it seems that way, but it's just been very.
No, we have a
It's just been a bit of an interesting time in gaming.
whole thing.
Yeah.
It has
But
been,
our
for
thumbnails tell a different story. Okay, we've played No Way Out. We played through the entire Halo saga. Halo Reach coming soon. We've played Borderlands.
Sure.
We've played Destiny. We've played a lot of things here. Okay, and we will continue to.
We have.
Only Only
Indeed we will.
with these two personalities, and only on the expert playlist. Thank you for watching. Thank you for yesterday's follower. Thank you for today's followers.
Did you miss me?
They exist. Everything's coming together.
Of course. They wouldn't miss this.
But with that having been said,
Triumph over the
my
darkness.
kumquats,
I know it's
good night. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah, she had time for one more. It's a hug. Look, it's a hug. Only in Destiny.
It is.
everyone helped bring the
Only in
guardian
Destiny
into
can you do a virtual hug.
fellow who calls himself the Drift.
How else are you supposed to get some loving in, during these dark times?
During these pandemic
Mhm.
times. Yes.